Oke, sampai jumpa lagi semuanya. Terima kasih untuk mendengarkan podcast saya hari ini. Kam Kun Ka. And good morning and thank you for listening to the podcast today. Buenos dias, you guys. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Until next time. All right. Thank you so much. Nicky there. God bless. And bye from Thailand, that is. All right. Talk soon, guys. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to put that on in there. All right, so here we go. It's unusual to be here. Here we go. All right, let's see. This is going to be a podcast that we're recording this, right? So you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me again. Leadership isn't about competing with AI. It's about collaborating with it to make smarter and faster and more ethical decisions. That's a quote that I just made, created, and I think that's kind of like in alignment with what we're going to talk about today. It is the title of this podcast today, this morning, is the AI leadership revolution. Will you adapt or be left behind? This is something that we're going to continue on a different segment, different discussions on the AI and leadership, and I think it's very profound right now, currently, as the world is evolving around AI, and so is leadership. So AI is no longer just a tool; it's a leadership challenge. The way that we make decisions and build relationships and strategize is shifting. All of this is just evolving, shifting, and transforming. So will you embrace it or be left behind? And this is basically what the podcast is all about this morning. So in this episode, Leadership365, AI is rapidly reshaping leadership, forcing decision-making, or makers rather, such as yourself, to rethink how you lead, you innovate, you create, and make that ethical choices. You know, from corporate boardrooms to global politics, really. It's all about these things that we are evolving currently. AI is no longer a futuristic concept. You know, we always talk about it's going to be the future. Well, the future is now. It's here, and it's now. It's real and evolving rather fast. So stick around with me. I think I'm going to try to make this about 30 to 40 to 45 minutes podcast, and hopefully it doesn't bore you, and hopefully it does have some kind of value for all of us to learn together, as this is really a self-note, and you know, I really would like to learn all of this together with you all. By the end of this episode, you'll understand that AI is both a powerful resource, a powerful tool, and yet it's a leadership challenge, and why those fail to adapt or fall behind. Some of the key takeaways that I want to mention to you is AI is a leadership tool, right? Like I said, it's not a replacement for leaders, right? AI can process data at lightning speed, as you already know that, but the intuition part of it, right? The process of us thinking, the vision, the EI, the EQ, the emotional intelligence remain irreplaceable. And I want you to remember that. Yeah, because if you really think about it, AI is man-made, right? So we still are behind that, are behind the AI, right? It's the humans, the emotional intelligence, the vision, the concept, the intuition. All of these are ours, the control and everything. AI leadership requires ethics and requires responsibility, accountability. AI is shaping the hiring, the justice systems, the overall global strategies. If you must, leaders must ensure that fairness and transparency, really, transparency and accountability. I think that's a big, huge word these days, accountability, and the fairness and the transparency, right? AI is transforming crisis management. That's where my field is, crisis management, right? AI is being used for real-time disaster response. I think on my last podcast, I gave you guys a preview of the robotic firefighters as well. And then some of the real-life examples of some countries that have already adapted that disaster response technology. So I think it is AI in itself also transforming crisis management, disaster response, cybersecurity, defense, and also predictive analytics, analysis, analytics to mitigate risks before they even escalate. I think that's important in the crisis management. It is a transforming in that area in the field. Developing countries also have a unique AI advantage. Nations like Thailand can leapfrog traditional economic powers like Indonesia, also Southeast Asia, or even in Africa, or any underdeveloped or developing countries, right? By adopting AI early and also strategically, especially in disaster preparedness. And I give you guys a glimpse of that, what I was talking about in my last previous podcast. All right, so next is the best leaders have and will be enhanced, not AI controlled. So this is, I'm talking about leaders who embrace AI while maintaining a human touch. We're never going to forget that, because there's human touch, right? We all have that human connection. Will lead the future. And those are some of the things that, the key takeaways that I want to point out in this episode, in this podcast, you guys. So I really appreciate it if you can stay around here for the next, I said 45 minutes. The future isn't AI versus humans. That's not what we're talking about here. It is AI empowering humans to lead better. All right, Arun Swat. I think I said it right. Arun Swat. Sawasdee ka. Good morning. Kam kun ka. I've been learning those three words for forever now, for the last over a week now being here. I am in Thailand, yes. Kalai kun ka, all the way from Thailand here. Thank you for listening here in my podcast, guys. Thank you so much. And selamat pagi. Terima kasih telah menghadir bersama saya lagi. Saya harap Anda bisa meluangkan waktu dengan saya di podcast hari ini. Semuanya selamat pagi. Terima kasih telah berada di sini dan listening to my podcast. Bonjour à tous. Merci beaucoup d'avoir écouté ici avec moi. And thank you so much, you guys. Buenos días, gracias por estar aquí conmigo de nuevo. Espero que disfrutes de mi podcast hoy. Muchas gracias por escucharme aquí conmigo. Thank you so much. Hola todos. Buenos días. Gracias. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here with me again, you guys. I really hope that you will enjoy this very, very selected topic that I've been wanting to share. I share quite a few in the AI related topic discussion here in my podcast, but this one is on leadership. And hopefully that you guys are going to learn with me together. The goal is really to share and inspire with all of you, other leaders, business leaders, and listeners, spark insightful discussions and continue on, by the way, and provide valuable insights for you all, and we all learn together. All right, so we are going. The recording is still going on here. We're just going to dive in here to talk about this. Sawasdee ka. I just learned that. Good morning, Sawasdee ka. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Greetings from Thailand. Yes, all the way from Thailand here in the morning. So you guys in LA probably are sleeping here. Being here in a country that is so considered a developing economy. And I've seen so many great things, great people, down to earth, very humble people, most friendliest people on earth, also in Bali. So it does remind me that too, in my own home country, in Indonesia. I've seen firsthand how AI is making an impact, right? Thailand is particularly here. I want to speak just a little bit about that. Leveraging AI in agriculture, disaster response, and tourism, of course. I mean, this is huge here. Helping businesses grow and communities become more resilient. But I want to say that AI isn't just a tool. It is becoming a critical part of leadership. It is becoming a part of decision making and crisis management, especially. I'm going to have more discussions in that particular arena on the crisis management with leadership, and I think that's important that we're heading out that way. We've been seeing a lot of unprecedented disasters everywhere from East Coast, Midwest, all over the West Coast. That recently I was part of also that the fires in LA. It was just horrific, from the start all the way to when it started raining. So escape from the matrix, so to speak. But yeah, I'm grateful that we didn't have to evacuate our neighborhood, but we were on the brink of evacuation orders. The neighbors, my neighbors and I and myself were like, okay, now what? We're all like keeping ourselves very, very close with each other on the text messaging. And there was one day, I'm going tangent right now. There was one day my phone wasn't working. The tower of the phone carrier was down completely for hours. So I couldn't call anybody, so I was just, speaking to my neighbors across the street, and, I was running to the house over there. It's like, hey, are you guys okay? We were really learning from each other also in times of disasters that we need each other. So I think I just wanted to come in there and say my thoughts on that. But AI, going back to the AI again, we're diving deep into how AI in reshaping leadership and how it can play a vital role in crisis management. So, we did talk about the crisis management in different area, right? When we talk about AI, most people think of Silicon Valley, China, Europe, but again, I'm in Thailand right now for over a week, and it's amazing to be here in this place where tradition really meets innovation. I went to Starbucks a few times already, and it's unbelievable how it adapts. Oh, hold on. Okay, that was a room service, making up my room. But yeah, I want to go back to that. I think I should say Sawasdee. Let's see. Where were we? Sawasdee. All right, so I wanted to continue on about talking about Thailand. It's amazing to be here in a place like this, and I visited. I think I'm in a nice area, also in a nice area where we can stay here in long term. My son's been here for over a month, so we're liking it here. I am grateful to be here too, learning different culture and explored really quite a bit. And then today I'm going to explore more in this week. So anyway, in Thailand, it's amazing to be in this place where I can, see tradition meets innovation. Also in Indonesia, Bali, all of these touristy areas, places, it's amazing to see all of this, you guys. When we talk about AI, like I said earlier, we think straight away Silicon Valley, China, or even Europe, right? But let me tell you, some of the most fascinating AI advancements are happening right here in this developing nation, such as this one, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore. Goodness, we never really talk about that. So take Thailand, for example. Farmers are using AI-driven crop monitoring to prevent food shortages. Hospitals in Bangkok, where I'm at, are implementing AI-powered diagnostic to catch illnesses earlier and provide better treatment. And then let me tell you, I took the very first time I took the what is it, the MRT train, or how do you call that, BT, I think they call it here, just to get one place to another. It was my first time over a week ago. My son taught me how to use it. It was the first time I mentioned this to him. The last time I took something like that was over in Singapore in 1992. So it's amazing to see, a place like Bangkok here using that. And then people are very, very structured and orderly manner, compared to the news that I see, New York, subway in New York, and I shouldn't be saying this too loud because it's a little bit like, oh my God, this is like Bangkok, you guys, and this is nice. I took some videos too. I document that. So even in disaster relief, AI is predicting storms and helping response teams and get ahead of the crisis, right? Mitigate. Because that's what happens when you mitigate it. Mitigation comes before it happens, right? So that's why I'm big in disaster preparedness is, the before, not the during, not the after. It's too late if you not preparing for it, right? Oh, did I just say that? That's kind of like elementary, Nicky. Okay, this isn't just about technology, you guys. It's about how AI is changing the way that we lead and make that decision when it matters the most, basically, right? That's exactly what we're really trying to explore here in this podcast today, what we're driving into today, how AI is reshaping leadership, especially in crisis situations. How do we balance that data-driven decision-making with human intuition? Because nothing can ever take away, replace human intuition. Right, the values of that. What happens when AI makes the wrong call? And most importantly, how can leaders ensure that AI serves people, not the other way around? People serves AI. That's going to be so. That's not the direction that we're going to, right? It's AI. How can we ensure AI serves humans, serves people? So hopefully that by the end of this episode, that we'll walk away with a clearer understanding of how AI can be a powerful tool for leadership, but only if we use it wisely. Okay, so let's get into it. I've been really good. I'm going to invite some guests to talk about this also. So if any of you are listening to this podcast right now and then you are interested in talking about the AI, especially in the data side of it, and just in crisis management as well, in leadership, let me know. Shoot me an email, hello@nickydare.com or support@idcares.org. Hello@nickydare.com. Just reach out to me like through LinkedIn, and I'll be able to see you guys there. I would love to have you on my podcast and to discuss this. If you're an expert in this, love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your voice on this. All right, so on this first segment, I want to talk about how AI is shaping leadership. Okay, so AI is changing leadership in many ways we never ever imagined. It's already happening right now around the world. It's giving us data-driven insights, helping us make faster decisions, and even predicting risks before they actually escalate, right? But with great power always comes with great responsibility. Again, that word, accountability, responsibility. So let's break it down. AI helps leaders analyze vast amounts of information rapidly, whether it is predicting supply chain disruptions, and we've seen this in the last year during that supply chain disruption, right? Or identifying economic trends. AI makes decision making faster and more efficient, and it reduces human error. Right? You think about that. At least in theory, right? AI removes emotional bias for some of decisions, but at the same time, it lacks that judgment, that human judgment, the ethical reasoning, because it's an AI, it's an artificial intelligence, it's not organic, right? So it does lack that human judgment and ethical reasoning. So there is that balance, that I don't want to say balance, that is that foundation there that we have to be mindful about, right? So it raises ethical concerns. Who is responsible if AI, let's say, makes a bad decision? Who's responsible in this, right? A faulty hiring algorithm? I mean, are we going to right away and say, oh, it's the algo fault, right? Or a biased security system? That's where leadership will always and still play a critical role. It's never going to be vanished, right? So I want to pause a little bit at that, and then before we jump into the next segment, and there is a quote. Okay. There is a next quote that I want to share with you guys. Hang on a minute. Okay, crisis doesn't wait. Leaders who harness AI effectively will be the ones who act decisively in the moments that matter most. So crisis doesn't wait. Leaders who harness AI effectively will be the ones who act decisively in the moments that matter the most. I think that's a good quote. This is just original quote that I just made for this particular podcast, and I think it's just resonating. All right, second segment here, that AI in crisis management. I want to give you, you know me, I always give you guys real world examples, right? Really quickly here, for the next 15 minutes. Imagine a world where we all can predict disasters before they even happen. That would be lovely, right? Imagine that. Well, that kind of world is already here. Yeah, so, we're talking about the seismology, monitoring the earthquake prediction and things like that. Yeah, I mean, earthquakes cannot be predicted, very challenging to be predicted. It's one of those things with Mother Nature. But I think it goes back way to 132 AD, I believe 130, where the ancient China were looking at earthquakes, and then they were capable of this, looking at, it's like, okay, how they were using dragons, I think. Earthquakes were capable of major disruption in ancient China as they are in the modern world. But in recorded history, food riots and rebellions following the civil unrest, I think in the 130 AD, in the year 130 AD, there is this, Chinese, ancient China, when the earthquake happened, they were looking at it, and it's, okay, how are we going to measure this? What happened and everything like this, right? They were using dragon. Oh, I want to talk about this, you guys. This is so tangent. Okay. But I do want to go back again to talk about disaster preparedness and things like that. I think what I'm gonna say on this is that about the earthquake, that in 1700, the discovery by Robert Hooke, he realized that, hey, wait a minute, earthquakes are connected with the land movements, and then so the modern studies officially began from that point on in 1700, and then electromagnetic seismograph invented in 1840, if you recall that, and seismic waves radiating from the focus of an earthquake, and then it's all being discovered. So yeah, I just want to talk to you guys about that, but I don't want to go to tangent, obviously. But let's get back to. Okay, hold on a minute. My battery is coming off. Okay, so technology only great when it's working, right? So okay, let's just leave it there on the seismic waves. It was discovered in 1850s, and I think the rest is history. There's a lot of discovery studies, and scientists jump on this earthquake research and things like that, right? Okay, so let's just leave it there. But imagine a world where we can predict disasters before they happen. And one of the things that, unfortunately, and sadly to say, just because we've been having this prediction for the last 30 years about the earthquake, San Andreas fault, right? To have the big one, it hasn't happened, and knock on wood, never happened. Hopefully, because I'm still around that area. But well, the world is already here. Okay, so AI-powered weather models, it's already happening. It's already being created. Help predict Cyclone Mocha in Myanmar, in Thailand, allowing for earlier evacuation, saving lives, basically. These are just some of the things that I was going to share with you guys. So, how does it work? How it works? AI analyzes weather patterns. It has to satellite images and historical data to predict severe storms. Right? Governments and aid organizations can prepare emergency responses sooner, reducing casualties. And I think that's all it's all about. Yes, there are going to be casualties, but how can we reduce that number? I think that's the goal, right? Because we can't, have a zero casualty. It would be great. It would be perfect. But a lot of these things, reducing the casualty, reducing risk reduction, as I call it all the time. That's part of my organization's goal, basically. So AI-powered chatbots also help distribute real-time information to affected communities. There's so many also apps on disaster preparedness as well, right? Notification, alert, and things like that. Okay, so I want to talk about this because this is kind of huge, and I'm not an expert in this, cybersecurity. AI in cybersecurity. Again, this is something that is been evolving, and it's happening. We're all utilizing this kind of things, right? The data. But these cyber threats are growing every day, as we already know. And AI is now a frontline defense. A European financial institutions recently prevented a massive hacking attempt, and thanks to AI's predictive threat detection. How AI is making an impact in this area. AI continuously monitors network activity, identifying potential threats before they escalate, because it's always the before, the pre. I'm huge in that disaster preparedness, the pre. It automates responses for to contain cyber threats faster than the human teams, basically, right? It analyzes also global cybercrime trends, helping organizations strengthen their defenses proactively. The mitigation part of it, right? The before it happens, before it escalates. All right, so the next one that I want to share with you is in the healthcare and pandemic responses. Everybody's like, you hear in some folks will ask you, like, when is going to be the next pandemic? Well, okay, let's talk about the healthcare and pandemic response. During the COVID-19 pandemic, AI played a game-changing role. It helped track outbreaks. It predict how the virus would spread. I'm not going to be political on this because I'm just being neutral on sharing these thoughts and what really was out there. Okay, so it helped track outbreaks, predict how the virus would spread, and even assisted the vaccine distribution. Right? AI used travel and medical data to forecast which areas were at the highest risk. This was during the pandemic, 2020, 2021. AI helped hospitals allocate resources efficiently and ensuring ventilators and staff were available where needed the most. Basically resources and everything, right? It assisted also drug discovery speeding up research for potential treatments. These examples that I'm sharing with you guys show that AI isn't just helping in routine business operations, but it's also stepping in during crisis when every second counts. So that's how articulate it can be, right? The next one that I want to talk about, challenges, the ethical challenges in the AI. Who's really in control? We mentioned that kind of briefly earlier, right? Who's really in control on this? Where things that get complicated, this is where the things that get complicated, right? AI can make decisions, but should it? I know that it's capable, right? But these are the questions. Who is responsible if an AI-driven security system makes a false arrest? You think about that. That's very important. It's the same kind of concept that goes like this. It's like, okay, all of a sudden, the traffic lights, instead of red, is all green. That's chaotic, right? That can be fatal. Is an AI hiring tool discriminates? If an AI hiring tool discriminates, is it the fault of the AI or the company that's using the AI? You think about that. So if an AI hiring tool discriminates, is it the fault of the AI or the company that's utilizing the AI technology, the hiring tool? Can AI be programmed to make moral decisions, or is that strictly just a human responsibility? Those are some of the questions that we must kind of look into. And these questions aren't theoretical anymore, right? It isn't theoretical. Leaders today must take ownership of the AI ethics and transparency and be accountable for it. AI doesn't have values. People do. I'm going to repeat that again. AI doesn't have values. Artificial intelligence doesn't have values. We do. People do. So here's some of the key takeaway. AI is an assistant, not a replacement for leadership. It can help leaders make better, faster decisions when it's needed, right? But it cannot replace our intuition and ethical judgment. Now, AI is already transforming crisis management. As we're speaking, is in full deployment, right? From predicting natural disasters to stopping cyber threats. AI is changing how we prepare for and also respond to crisis. AI brings ethical challenges that leaders cannot ignore. So we must ensure AI remains transparent, unbiased, and also aligned with human values. Developing countries have chance to leap ahead, and I'm seeing this firsthand, with strategic AI adoption. Nations like, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, where I'm at, can skip traditional stages of development and lead in innovation. The best leaders will be AI enhanced, not AI controlled. I'm going to repeat that again. The best leaders will be AI enhanced, not AI controlled. So in other words, those who embrace AI without losing the human connection, the human touch, will define the future. And here's my final thoughts before we end this podcast this morning. AI is a tool, but leadership is still a human responsibility. AI is a tool, once again. It's a tool, it's a resource, but it's a great resource. But leadership is still a human responsibility. The best leaders won't fear AI. They will learn how to use it wisely, and should. AI can process data, but it's up to us to apply wisdom, ethics, and compassion. And that's big. Compassion, ethics, wisdom. So here's my challenge to you. How will you lead in the age of AI? Will you stay ahead of the curve, or will you resist the change and just risking falling behind? It's all entirely up to you. All right, so here's another quote that I want to share with you guys. The future of AI. The future is an AI versus humans. It's AI empowering humans to lead better. The future is an AI versus humans. It's AI empowering humans to lead better. All right, hopefully you like that one. So, in this episode, Spark New Idea. If this one sparked new ideas, and I'm sure it has, and I know it has, let's keep the conversation going, and I'd like to discuss this even further with some experts in different fields in the AI and also leadership. Please do share your thoughts on AI in leadership. What excites you? What concerns you? We all have those, right? There's still questions about it. Questions. That's why we're still talking about this. And also, I invite you to subscribe to Leadership365, follow me in my LinkedIn, and also connect with me directly. And remember, true leadership isn't about keeping up with AI, it's about staying ahead of it. Until next time, Sawasdee. All right, guys, thank you so very much. And that's all I have for right now. And let me see if I can. All right. That's it. Sawasdee. Sampai jumpa lagi semua. And sampai jumpa lagi semuanya. Terima kasih untuk mendengarkan podcast saya hari ini. Kam kun ka. And good morning, and thank you for listening to the podcast today. Buenos dias, you guys. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Until next time. All right. Thank you so much. Nicky there. God bless. And bye from Thailand, that is. All right. Talk soon, guys. Thank you.